my Rolex to talk to you. I don't need a mansion to be credible. I don't need a PhD for you to listen to me. My credentials are not for that. That was just me trying to get validation. My credentials are my lived experience and the wisdom that comes out of my face. And from there, we let God do God. Hot Mess Millionaire is a freedom cry. You really can be yourself in all your messiness and have whatever kind of millions you want, whether it's monetary millions, whether it's millions of likes, whether it's millions of dollars in charity, whether it's millions of meals that you've given away or millions of homes you've built for other people. It doesn't have to be money. I pulled back on that and I went for the spirit of it. See, it's a spirit thing. It's not a money thing. When you let your destiny arise, when you take away all the shackles, all the pretense, and you let what is yours to arise, you may find that you ain't even interested in fucking money. You may find you're interested in being a mom. But you've been so chasing after the dollar, you didn't even know, literally. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be what you think. But that doesn't mean you won't reach millions. Doesn't mean you won't make millions. Doesn't mean you won't give away millions. Money is the easy part. The hard part, the real work, tell the truth. And let the truth go to work. That's the real work. That's the shit we don't talk about. So all I'm doing all day, every day is pulling the fucking curtain back. I want you to see what it takes to live this kind of life. I'm not saying it's a good life, but it's an honest one. And it's one that makes me proud of who I am.
All right, and then we have the internal permission to prosper. See, the internal permission to prosper has everything to do with you getting on your own side. You're not on your own side yet. You keep looking outside for you from validation. So that when it happens, you do good, and when you don't, you don't. And also the ability to implement as a possibility. Some of you are implementing to prove other people wrong. Can you see that? You can do the right action and the wrong energetic, and it won't make a dime. If you are doing all the right business actions, and you're doing it because you need money, it won't convert. I know that never pick up last word, right? It's almost like when you're desperate for a relationship, you just take anything, and then it just turns out from bad to worse. And we've all done it. I know I have. So you have to learn how to implement from a possibility, and you've done it. Have you ever done something that you were happy about, and then it got a life of its own? That is, so you know how to do it, but you haven't done it with your money. Make sense?
All right. You know, why did I torch my life? Like, I was winning on all fronts, quite frankly. I had a multi-million-dollar home-based business. I had a remarkably successful marriage. I was fit, and I had an adoring audience, tribe that truly loved and supported me. And I've been being with, well, what the hell? I had in a lot of ways reached the top, the American dream. From the streets to Stanford to multi-seven-figure earner, what else is there to do after that, right? And I've had a beautiful mansion that literally had a courtyard, uncovered courtyard in the house, all right? Studio, game room, 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, half-acre yard, all kinds of shit, right? Just all of it. And I wasn't fulfilled. And you can't say that. You can't say you have overcome all the odds and you have the Mercedes, the Lexus, the quarterly vacations, the world traveling, the Toomey, the red bottom fucking collection, all right? And say, I'm not happy. How do you say that when there's nothing to not be happy about, when I'm no longer on the streets? So I didn't say anything because it didn't occur to me like I had a right to. So that's the first piece. The second piece is there was nothing wrong. I spent my whole life recovering. Just recovering from addiction, from abuse, from pain, from being turned out, from being just every possible kind of hurt I had been undoing. So in this season, when I had reached, 2018, best-selling author. The book industry turned the book down, said black women would never buy a book about becoming a millionaire, but we'll buy a book about our career. Black women got up under me, and they supported me. They galvanized, and they made it a bestseller, not me. I had one. But in the winning, it lost me. How do you say that? How do you articulate that you lost yourself? And it's not something you can say, it's just a feeling. It's just like, I had gotten to the place where I felt guilty for being successful. It was part of me trying to not feel bad for winning. I didn't say what I wanted. I said what I thought people wanted me to say. And it wasn't like people manipulating me, but they were like, oh, you're happy? Yeah, I'm happy. But what the fuck is happy? You know what I'm saying? Happy if I have to stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning making sure the service delivery happens, or dealing with customer complaints, or people trying to do refunds because they mad about something. That's not joy. That's duty. That's obligation. That's pressure. That's stress. And I managed it. But what got dropped out is me. And I did it in my marriage. And it wasn't even a bad thing. It was just like, I was so committed to not being alone. I just got married because I want somebody to be nice to me, you know? Yeah, I know it's fucked up, but it's honest, you know? And I mean, really, I didn't marry for character. I married for kindness. And it showed up a decade later that we weren't really a match value-wise. But the point was this: I had built a life that had turned into a cage. And it was a gilded cage. It was a beautiful, opulent cage where there was no breathing room. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't be myself. I felt like I needed to dress up to go outside. I needed to have lash extensions. I needed to wear makeup. I needed to be in the fly as shit in order for people to respect me, to think well of me, to buy from me, for me to have credibility. But there was no room for me just to be messy. Just to be a human being. And you can't really say that when you're successful. You can say it when you're down and out. But when you're successful, they're like, what the fuck are you bitching about? You got a Mercedes. No, fuck that. You got 2 Mercedes, 2 Lexuses, and a mansion. What the fuck are you complaining about? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I didn't say nothing because I know how bad it can be. I know what it's like to do shit you don't want to do for money. And I didn't have to do that no more. So I didn't complain. I just swallowed it. I kept my mouth shut. And I kept producing, I kept making more money and making more money. And the more money I made, the more, empty is not the right word, but it's more like a weight of it. The money became a weight, a chain. It became a shackle. Not because of the money, but with the money comes a lifestyle. They come right, you can't be a millionaire and drive a fucking Hyundai. It's not gonna happen. And your shit gotta change every 2 years. You know what I'm saying? You can't just, if you're rocking a Mercedes, it's not enough to have a Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? Now you gotta have the latest model of a Mercedes. Then you have to have the right class. Is it a C class? Is it E class? Is it S class? All of that shit is in there. But you don't learn that when you start. You just have to get some fucking money. I was just having it, fuck it. I can pay my fucking bills. Thank you, Jesus, hallelujah. And I'm still proud of that. I will pay my team before I pay me. And I think that's good business. I don't have no problems with it. But the weight of it, right, what I realized was I was really good at buying love. Because that's in essence what it is, right? The cars, the clothes, the whatevers, all of that is just smokescreen. The makeup, the red bottoms, the designer dresses, it's all hiding behind lipstick and mascara. And I didn't want to hide anymore. It's not like there was something wrong, because if there was something wrong, I would have handled it. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a punk ass. I'm not a punk ass by any means. But it's that feeling of when you give and you give and you give and you do everything you could possibly do and motherfuckers don't say thank you. It becomes an expectation. Then it's an obligation. Now it's entitlement. Like, you entitled to me slaving for you? What the fuck? I love working at a university to be free. That was the whole point of becoming an entrepreneur, to be free. But I wasn't free. I was bound by social norms and social codes that stated that if you want to speak, you don't curse. If you want to reach people, you have to give them free content. And so what ended up happening for me was I imploded. It showed up in my body. It showed up in me getting sick. It showed up in me losing my temper and getting short-tempered. Before the anger, frustration happened, I used to drink. I'm a dry alcoholic, I acted it out on my body with socially acceptable acts of self-hate. And we don't call them self-hate because they're useful to other motherfuckers. Working hard is a socially acceptable act of self-hate.
Hard workers, any hard workers in the room? All y'all should have your hands up. You liars, all you lies, 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 liars, a lot of you, okay? See, when you're a hard worker, your survival strategy is that you are a workaholic. You can't turn it off. You're supposed to be at your kid's concert, you're in a car doing a sales call. So here's the thing, you're so worried about what you didn't finish that you can't even relax enough to fuck. She understands exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah, put your hand, be proud, be proud. Look, hey, shit's real. I know my sisters and I know me. You know how it is, you got to get some shit done. You got this shit on your head. Your body's not cooperating for shit, all right? So you're like, well, boo, I can't. I wanna, I can't. I really like to, but I can't because you're dealing with all the shit that you haven't finished and now your boo feels neglected.
Self-sacrificing. A socially acceptable act of self-hate. Putting yourself last, over giving, or doing more than you're paid for, undercharging. All of these are acts of self-hate, but they're socially acceptable. Giving, being there for other people, when you throw yourself under the bus to save them, all of that shit, that's self-hate. But we don't call it self-hate. Because other people are like, oh, you're so nice. Oh, you're a good man. You're a good woman. You're a good church girl. You're a good, you get rewarded for treating you like shit. I had gotten addicted to the rewards. The problem with that is that when they stop giving it, now I'm feeding it. So I'm trying to get the next acknowledgement. I'm trying to get the next, oh, Dr. B did this. I'm trying to get the next accolade. So now I'm a little bitch. Because now I'm chasing somebody's opinion of me. I didn't want to live like that. And I couldn't be my full self. I couldn't be wounded and wealthy. I couldn't be kinky and a Christian. I couldn't be subversive and a leader. I couldn't, not in that context. So, but if I wanted to be my full self, that life had to die. So I fucking killed it. I killed the life. I dismantled every aspect of it. I sold all my properties. I dismantled the teams. I took the business model and laid it to rest and created a whole new business entity. Venus Opal Enterprises is not the Impossible Inc. You see what I'm saying? Because I know that I'm built for more. And it doesn't equal that I have to do more. They're not the same, right? But it does require me telling the truth about who I am with no makeup, with no crutches, nobody to fall back on or to blame. Just me standing naked in the world, knowing on some level, and I don't know how this is going to work, but on some level, I'm enough. Even in my woundedness, because of it, not in spite of it. It's because of the PTSD, of the streets, of the trauma, of all the negativity, all of it, right? That I am who I am. I'll tell you this. Money comes and goes. It does. It's the nature of money. It really does do that. You can be a millionaire today and be a trillionaire tomorrow and be broke the next day and be a billionaire 2 days later. So you can't, the money isn't the measure. The real measure, I swear to God, if you take this, you will never ever lose. The real measure of success is how many times you get back up when you get knocked down. And you keep going until it turns. Trust me to keep going until it turns. It's sort of like a boat with a rudder. That rudder if you try to turn it, it goes against the tide. You know, it's like it's a lot of work to try to turn the boat when the water is going against the rudder in the back. But once you muscle it around, all that other water that you were fighting against rushes to the rudder and propels you with velocity into a future you didn't even know you wanted. See, that's what it takes. It takes to stay with it until it turns, no matter how you feel. That's what I count on. I trust me to implement no matter what. And that's the difference between me and everybody else in terms of being a millionaire. And when I say everybody else, I mean people who say they want to be millionaires. They give up so quick. They give up when they get messy. They give up when they get sloppy. They give up when it gets hard. But that's when you lean in.
You know you want this hotness. You know you want this hotness.